and welcome to my channel. My name is Anya and in today's video I'm going to be introducing my project pan for 2022. So I did a very sporadic version of a project pan last year. I tried, but I could just not keep up with videos on it and I kind of just slacked a bit with it. I'm not going to do monthly updates with this one because I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm in school and school is taking literally all of my energy. I just finished my first semester and I have some time now to film really before we get into the next one, and I think it's going to be probably easily another month if not longer until I can film again. So I'm just going to introduce a project pan and I'm going to be working on it behind the scenes. I'm going to try and do like updates every other month, maybe more frequently if I get a lot of progress in a month, but every other month or so I'm gonna do an update video. And I have decided this year to essentially have a product in every single category in my makeup collection. So I've started with something in pretty much every category. Whether that's gonna be a thing for the entire year, I don't know, but that's kind of what I want to do because I do want to get use out of my entire makeup collection and I want to try and finish stuff from every category. I don't think that's gonna happen because it takes a long time to finish a blush and even longer to finish a face palette with multiple blushes. But I have various goals for various things. So for some things I do want to finish them completely, other things I want to hit pan, and then I have a couple of items where I have use goals. So I want to use them 30 times, 50 times, 10 times, etc. just to get some use out of them so that I'm always rotating through the products that are open in my collection. That way I get to use everything before things expire, before I get to use them. So without further ado, I think I'm just going to introduce products in the order that I have them on my spreadsheet. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the spreadsheet where I keep everything I have and all the notes I have on the items. I have not weighed any of my products or measured lengthwise if they are in a stick form, because that's just not something I can keep up with. That becomes a bit too much. So I'm going to show you what the products look like. I'm going to show you how the tubes look if they're in tubes. I'm going to show you pans if I have pans, and then I can potentially compare from update to update. But for the most part, I just want to introduce the stuff that I want to try and finish and the stuff that I want to be using and getting some wear out of. So I'm going to just do that. So the primer I'm starting with is the Mekka Face Primer Illuminating one. This is a white colour, so it ends up being a very pearly shine kind of product and I really like it. I have 4 illuminating primers currently, which is a couple too many, so I'm going to dwindle that number down, and it made sense to start with the oldest, so I'm going to begin with that one. For foundation, I have decided to start with my powder foundation because I have several of these in a backup. This is the Mekka Hello Pretty powder foundation. I have the shade Marshmallow and I have massive pan on this. I've been using this a lot to set for when I want a bit of extra coverage. I also do wear it alone and I do like it. I have been more drawn in like the last 6 months away from powder foundation. This used to be a staple and a holy grail for me, and more into a very kind of dewy glowy cream face. So I'm unsure what I'm going to do with all of the backups I have because I don't think I'm going to get through all of them, but for now I am really enjoying it and I'm liking it, and I'm going to finish that one as quickly as I can. The concealer I'm going to be finishing is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in the shade Light. This is almost empty. I worked on this all of last year. At the beginning of the year I hated it. I could not find a use for it, so it was kind of on its last chance. Then I discovered a way that I can use this that I love, and I'm gonna repurchase this when I use it up. But this is getting kind of old, so I want to finish it. It is what I'm wearing for the most part when I'm wearing foundation. It's going to take a little bit longer than what the tube would suggest because you need so little of this every time you use it, but I am going to be able to finish it at some point. Next up, my category is Color Corrector, and I have a baby Becca Under Eye Brightening Color Corrector in the shade Light Medium, which has a tiny dip in it. It's not one I use all that often. I prefer just concealer. It is a nice one, but again, getting a little old, want to try and finish it. Then I have my pressed and my loose powder. My pressed powder is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus in Warm Light. Wet n Wild is not cruelty free. I do have pan on this, so I do want to try and use it up instead of just getting rid of it because it is still usable and I don't mind it. My loose powder is the Rimmel Match Perfection one. This is almost entirely new. I have not really used a lot of it. At the bottom it is essentially half full. Again, another one I want to finish. This is going to take a lot longer than the pressed powder and the powder foundation. I think this might not even be finished this year. The static spray I want to finish is the NYX Dewy Finish one. This one is pretty much full. I opened this at the end of December. I've used it a handful of times only, but I do think I'm going to be able to finish this before summer, maybe by the end of March or April, depending on how often I wear makeup. Today is January 15th and today's the first time I'm wearing makeup, so I am not expecting things to move quickly this year with panning. I know I use setting spray pretty much every time I wear my makeup, so it is one that I'm going to get use out of. And I have some cheek products here. So for blush, I have chosen the Balm's Hot Mama. This is very pretty, kind of a pink with a lot of golden shimmer to it. I wish it was a little bit more shimmery. I want to hit pan on this. I don't think that's going to happen, so I am going to probably end up downgrading the goal to use it until I get sick of it, or until like summer or something like that. And then my bronzer is the Makeup Mekka Baked Bronzer in the shade Wavy, which is very, very warm. It is a touch too dark for me for the most part, but it is very warm, so it's kind of perfect as a true bronzer. I want to use this 30 times. I think that could probably happen by the summer, and I may end up keeping it longer into the summer because it does suit me better in the summer when I'm not deathly pale. My highlighter is the Fenty Kilowatt highlighter in Metal Moon, which is a white shifty gold highlighter. Again, I want to use this 30 times. I would love if I could get some of that embossing kind of worn down or away. Then for cream blush, I have chosen the smallest one I have, which is the Makeup Mekka Lip and Cheek Balm, and it is very tiny. Very small. I would love to hit pan on this. I really love peach blush, and I think hitting pan is probably not going to be that hard. For bronzer, I have the Rimmel Insta Duo Contour Stick in the shade Light. I have completely finished the highlighter part. I have not scooped it out because I don't like it that much, but I have a little bit left on the bronzer side and I want to try and finish that. I don't think that's going to take me a long time. And then my highlighter is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. These are too dark to be a traditional highlighter on me, but I have found mixing it into cream blush and stuff works wonderfully, so I'm going to use it a lot as that. And then I have my face palette, and I've picked out an old one. This is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Beauty with an Edge face palette, and I've had this for years and years and years. I'm not actually sure this is good or usable, so it's kind of on its final leg. I want to use every item 10 times, and then I may end up retiring this. I'm unsure how it's going to hold up and if I'm going to be able to use it. And then I have some brow products. My brow pencil is the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Auburn. It is expensive, which is why I kind of want to use it just so that it does not expire on me. And the colour ends up being very dark. It is very good for my hair when my hair is freshly dyed and kind of at its darkest. Other than that, it ends up being too dark and intense. I prefer the NYX micro brow pencils as well. They are a little bit less soft of a formulation, which works best for me. And then for brow gel, I have the Makeup Mekka Easy Peasy Brow Gel. I have only got this one and a brow soap in my stash in the brow gel category, but I want to use it up. Then my eye primer is the Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer. It is the oldest and the most expensive one in my collection, and therefore I do want to finish it. I do really like this both as an eye primer, but I also use this under the eyes to prime for concealer, and it works a charm. I love this. And then for cream eyeshadow, my chosen to start with is the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Kathleen Lights, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous copper. It is just one of my favourite eyeshadows of all time. I want to use it 30 times. I have already hit pan. This is also getting quite old, but it's one of those that have stayed very soft for a very long time, and I can't stop using it. So 30 times, and then I'm going to probably swap in another one. And then I have my powder single eyeshadow, and I've chosen my Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Shadow in the shade Ray. I have not used this a lot, and therefore I want to use it because it is expensive. But this is kind of like a brown beige bronze, and it is very, very sparkly, and I really like that. So I want to get some good use out of this, and I want to use it 30 times. And my eyeshadow palette, I ended up going for the Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita Luxury Quad, because it is very expensive, and it looks like this, and it has a kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it, a kind of champagne-y cream colour, a red brown, a textured bronze that gets hard pan for me, don't love it that much, and then more of a darker brown. I want to use every shade 30 times. How long that's going to take me, I don't know. I would love to hit pan as well on all of the shades in here. I'm unsure if that's going to happen in those 30 uses, but it might. My pencil eyeliner is the Colourpop Creme Geliner in the shade Punch, which is interesting because this doesn't really go with any of the eyeshadows that I've chosen, but it is very, very, very dry. It's not going to survive very long. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this before it dries out, but I want to use it until it just stops being usable. And then for liquid liner, I'm going to open a new one. I don't have any open ones at the moment, and I'm going to open the Made You Look the Night Owl eyeliner pen in the shade Haunted. I ended up buying a stack of 4 when she stopped making these. It is a black liner. I have used this before and I like it. I want to use this for 6 months and then I'm going to retire it because I have too many liquid liners that I don't use. Mascara is the Tanya Burr Selfie Lash in the shade Black. Another one that I am unsure how it's going to hold up. I have not used it. It is getting a little bit older, so I'm going to use this for 3 months and then I'm going to just retire it. Usually I hold mascaras for a year, which works fine as long as they're new, but with this one being 4 years old, unopened for 4 years though, I'm not going to trust it for a year, so I'm going to use it for 3 months as much as I can. My lip liner is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It is one that I don't necessarily love the formulation of because it is more of a thicker one and I can't layer this with the lipstick, but it's a colour that I like and it's a colour that I can easily wear for pretty much every day, so I'm gonna use that up. The lipstick I'm using is the shade Pillow Talk, also from Charlotte Tilbury. Now mine is broken in the tube, so it does come off and it's kind of been smushed a little bit. The product is still usable. I want to use it 30 times and then reassess what to do with it later because it is also getting a bit old. The lip crayon I have is the Colourpop Lippy Stick in the shade Taurus, which is a warm matte brown matte that I have not used in a while. It is very, very pretty. It is a matte formulation, but it ends up being a little bit more creamy on the lips for me, and I like it. It is a colour that I really enjoy and I want to use it 30 times as well. Then for liquid lipstick, I have a baby NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Stockholm. The NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream range is my favourite liquid lipstick range of all time. It's super comfortable. This is a tried and true tested favourite that I keep coming back to. I've taken the stopper out, so this is super messy, but I want to finish this, or as much of it as I can, before it eventually expires. And then my lip gloss is another baby. This is the Butter Gloss in Glazy Days. Again, I've taken the stopper out. It is extremely messy, but most of my product have kind of collected at the bottom, so I'm going to scoop that up so that I can easily get to it. But I think this should be finished within February, so in the next 1.5 to 2 months. And that was all of the products that I wanted to finish, hit pan on, or just use a set amount of time. In general, my goal for using up makeup this year is I want to finish at least 50 items, and I am trying to shrink my makeup collection, so I am on a alternating no buy low buy. So every other month pretty much I am on a no buy, and then I am allowed to buy things every other month, but I have to have finished, decluttered, or 10 items have to expire for me to be able to buy one thing. So if I want to buy one thing, I have to have had 10 items go out, with the exception of if I run out of the single thing in a category, I'm allowed to replenish that category. But that is, at least for me, the easiest way I found to shrink my collection, so that's what I will be doing. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're doing a project pan, tell me about it down in the comments below. I am disabled and I don't wear makeup every single day. I wear makeup probably on average about twice a week, and that does mean that using up makeup for me is very challenging. I do use things slowly, I finish things slowly. Project panning can be a bit disheartening and hard for me because a lot of other people, they make massive progresses from month to month. My progress is usually small and it can take several months until I notice that I've made a decent amount of progress, but I still like to do it even only kind of gently, like I am doing now, where I'm not weighing anything, I'm not keeping super strict notice on everything. I do still want to work on panning what I can pan and just in general getting good use out of my collection. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos and catch when I end up doing an update next, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!